Hello, everybody. Welcome to Canadian music in the 80s and 90s and more. A, emphasis on the A part, which makes it Canadian. Um, I'm very happy to be joined by a good friend of mine from back in Ontario, who's also one of my favorite musicians, James Clark of the James Clark Institute. Thanks for joining me, James.
Hello, Ellen. How are you? Good to see you.
Good.
Good to
Good to
see
see
you.
you too.
Yeah.
So you had a busy little while here. You've got a new album out, which is incredible, by the way. Thank you
Oh,
for the
thank you.
copy.
Thank you
Um,
very much.
um,
Yeah. Came out in November and it's getting some great reviews and yeah, it's been good.
Let me see if I can pull up a picture of it. Can you see that?
I cannot.
You cannot. Okay.
Oh,
How
there it
about
is.
how
Now I
about
do.
now?
Yep. There it
Under
is.
the Lampshade. That's your newest one.
Yes. Brand new.
And is that is indeed another Mo Berg production, is it?
It is. That's number three.
Number three with Mo.
Working with Mo. Yeah.
So you
Mhm.
must be having a pretty good rapport with him too.
He's really great. I love working with Mo. He's a great guy and he's a great producer and he seems to really get where I'm coming from musically. So it's a really good partnership, I think. I hope to do it again.
Like I find your musical, like not your like the musical, like the instrumentation of what you do. It's modern, but it sounds like, it sounds like something I've so familiar. I've heard it before. You know what I mean? Like, which is a good thing. It sounds like, an old song I love from years ago. Like I don't know if that's what he brings out in you, or it's something you were consciously trying to bring out in your music.
Okay, I'll admit it. I stole all those songs. No, no, I'm a kid. I'm kidding. Well, my influences, I'm influenced by a lot of stuff. And I've been doing this a long time, so I've been influenced by a lot of stuff. But I've in the last several years, I've gone back and sort of rediscovered my early influences and started writing um, from where I began initially when I was a kid and I was listening to the Beatles and all the British invasion stuff. And, to me, that still sounds good. So that's really deep in my consciousness, and so that's what comes out when I write.
So let's go back for a bit. Like, oh wait, so what is your musical beginnings? Like, what was the first song you heard that made you say, I got to play the guitar, or be more than just someone who listens to music? I got to make music too.
Well, I was probably about 8 years old, and luckily for me, in some ways, at least musically, I had an older brother, about 4 years older than me,
Uh-huh.
and he was a huge Beatles fan, and he turned me on to all kinds of music. And we, as kids, we played in garage bands together. He played
Right.
guitar. I wanted to play guitar, but he played guitar. So he said, "Yeah, I think you should play drums." So he talked me into becoming a drummer, and I became a drummer, and I was a drummer for a long, long time. Into my 20s. I still play. In fact, I'm still playing drums in a couple of projects right now. But I concentrated on drumming and did that for many, many years, although I was also secretly writing songs. Um, yeah, that's really where I came from, and it was probably not until I was in my mid to late 20s where I started taking my songwriting a little more seriously than drumming. So I was always sort of caught in between wanting to be John Lennon and wanting to be Ringo Starr.
Right.
That's how I explain it.
So when did you get your first chance to like record stuff, like record some of your own material, like, or did you do that with other bands you were with, maybe?
I've done a lot of stuff with local bands on drums, and I started recording my own stuff. Oh, many, many years ago. 25 years ago, I guess now. Yeah. It's been a long time. So there's been a number of releases. The first James Clark Institute release, which I consider, the official one, because there's two before that, which I don't talk about.
Right.
But they are out there. But I don't talk about them. So the official one was released was going on 20 years ago. 2000 October 2004. I released the first one.
And
So
who helped you produce that one?
that was I was working with a guy named Gary Flint, who I'd known for many years. And Gary is he's an ex rock star. He played drums in the Toronto band National Velvet.
Okay.
Yeah, and they had quite a bit of success for a few years there. So I've known Gary for a long time. So yeah, he had his own little home studio, and so I worked with him on the first couple of James Clark Institute records.
Awesome. And what about members of your band? Like, are you pretty consistent with the members of your band now, or have you gone through a few? Or
I've gone through many changes. There was a time where I had a surprise birthday party. This is like 10 years ago. Surprise birthday party, and I didn't know about it. But all of these ex-members
right?
of the band showed up, and so we had this group photo, and there was probably 6 guitar players and like 4 drummers and 5 bass players, and we all gathered in this photo. It was pretty crazy. But the current lineup is I've been playing with them really just before COVID hit. We did a few gigs together. The drummer is the newest member. He, like I said, he joined 2019. We did 2 or 3 gigs together, then COVID hit. So didn't do too much there for a while. But now, yeah, the current lineup is pretty solid. It's great.
I remember. I don't know if you remember this show. Hopefully, it comes in here in a minute.
Oh yeah. There's Tim. Tim, the current bass player. hmm That was the first Milk Crate stage performance at PCB Records in Oakville, and I think it was also the last one because COVID hit right
Yeah,
soon after that.
that would
Yeah,
have been just before I left Ontario.
yeah. Were you at that show?
I was there. I was there. I took that picture. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Because I got to know Tim a little bit through
Right.
the store, and wow, he's been playing bass with you for a while now, hasn't he?
Yeah, 5, 6 years now. Wow, at least 5 years. Yeah.
You guys share a lot of musical taste and influence as well.
Yes and no. I mean, he's from the UK originally, as you know.
Yeah.
So his musical history is really playing bass in punk bands growing up.
Okay.
Yeah. And me growing up, I mean, I really wasn't into the punk scene too much at all. Um, I grew to appreciate it later on, but yeah. But we do have some moments where we actually our interests overlap, which is good.
So I saw that you had some pretty, I would say, dream gigs. You got to go overseas and play at the Cavern Club. And how was
Yeah.
being the Beatles influence that is very
Oh yeah, it was
well known? How was that to play somewhere like that?
for me personally, it was magical. It was magical. We've done it now the last 2 years, and hoping to go back again this spring. But it was, yeah, it's fantastic. I've been trying to get over there. We've had this open door to play at this festival at the Cavern for about 10 years, and just haven't been able to get there. And finally, we made it. So yeah, it was just it's a whole different world over there as far as playing in a band. People just dig it, and I think what I do musically really resonates with the UK.
Did you get a chance to see like some of the famous Beatles spots?
Oh,
Like,
oh yeah. They've got this tour called the Magical Mystery Tour. It's a
okay,
2 hour bus tour, and the bus is done up exactly. It's painted up like the bus in the Magical Mystery Tour movie.
okay,
And it's amazing. So they take you around for 2 hours through all of these different famous spots and they take the Beatles houses where they grew up. They let you off the bus at 4 stops. They let you off at Paul's house and George's house and Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane.
nice.
And for me, it was just mind blowing. Actually, I've read about all of this for so many years, and to actually just be there and see these spots is incredible. I
I
don't know.
bet. I mean, as a Beatles fan, it's got to be something of a dream come true to
Yeah,
just see all
no,
that.
I mean, I loved it so much the first year we were over there that I went and did it again last year. And even though, it's the same tour, it's all the same sites, still great.
Right. So how did you get involved with Mo to produce? Like, where did you first get him on board? Like, how did you meet him or get?
Yeah, so I've known Mo for over 20 years. And at the time I was playing drums in a surf band in Toronto.
Mhm.
And the guitar player in the band uh, knew Mo. I'm not sure what the connection was, but he knew Mo. And so he was going to bring Mo on board to produce our second album. And we had meetings with him, and I had been a fan of Mo's, forever. And so when he came in, I said, "Oh, amazing, Mo! It'd be fantastic to work with Mo." Unfortunately, it didn't work out. I don't remember the circumstances why it didn't work out, but it didn't. But we kept in touch, and we always talked about working together. And every time I would release a new CD, I would get him a copy, and we talked about, like I said, talked about working together, and finally it happened in 2013. He produced a 7-inch single that I released, and then I've been working with him exclusively since then.
He seems to be bring out the best in you anyway.
Oh, yeah, I
Um,
think so. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, he really is in tune to what I'm trying to capture.
he really seems to get what you're trying to
Yeah,
do.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Hard to find a producer like that, but I guess when you do, you got to stick with him, right?
Yeah, like I said, I'm really happy. And after working on the, or while we were working on the first full album we worked on together, we were on the way to the studio one night, and he said, I really, and he said this, I'm sort of paraphrasing, but he said, I want to be your George Martin. Uh, and I was cool with that. And yeah, sure. So in a way, he's our George Martin.
He does a lot of producing though, doesn't he? Like it's you're not
Yes.
he's made quite a career out of it. I've seen TV shows with him. Like I saw a couple of TV shows about how people make records, and he's been in
Yeah,
it showing how he produces bands and
he had a series for a while, where they would take a band into the studio and record and produce a tune in 24 hours. Yeah, so that's the first time I knew that he was producing records. So and he teaches a production course at Fanshawe in London.
okay. Is
Once
that something you can see doing one day? Maybe getting into the production side of things?
No, I don't think so. That's not really where what I think what I excel at. No, I don't have a lot of interest in that.
You just like writing and playing?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I love doing.
Well, you're good at it, so
Oh, hey,
keep
thanks.
it up. You've also played some pretty legendary venues in Toronto too. You got to play the new Alma Combo.
Yes,
Um,
done that a few times.
have you played the old one before? I guess that was the question,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. We do it. We did it a few times in late '90s. I can't remember exactly when they closed down, but played it a few times in the later years. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've got the story. I tell a story where had you been to the Elmo? I mean, you must have been.
not the new one. I've been there, but not to the
Oh,
new one.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
we were playing a gig there one night, and it was one of those like, multiple band nights, 3 or 4 bands playing, and so we're sitting there listening to the band on before us, and my drummer said, "Man, I'm sorry, but I've got to go to the bathroom." And but the washroom at the Elmo was so disgusting that he decided to drive home, which and he lived in Parkdale, which is probably at least a 20-minute drive from the Elmo. So he decided to use his own washroom instead of the Elmo. They were so disgusting. So he drove home, and the band on before us is pretty much finishing their set. They're wrapping it up, 1 or 2 songs. My drummer is yet to, return. So I'm getting a little nervous because we're on in 10 minutes. Where's my drummer, right? So and at the time, this is before cell phones even. So they had a phone in just on the inside of the lobby door there. And I remember calling my drummer, where are you? Where are you? There's no answer. So obviously he was on the way back, but
Yeah.
it's really a close call for him and us. Yeah.
There's always good stories in rock and roll, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's one of my favorites. Yeah, yeah.
That's one about. Did you ever play the horseshoe? I'm sure you have.
Yes, we have. And the last time we played it was about 5 years ago, and we actually opened up for Pursuit of Happiness,
Oh, right.
and that was an amazing night. That was a sold out show, and it was fantastic. Yeah, loved it. Great experience. Yeah, people
Any
really.
plan
What's
any
that?
plans to bring your show out to the Maritimes one day?
Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to. Yeah, yeah. I finally got a band which really wants to tour. So hopefully, yeah, hopefully one day, not too far away in the distance future. Yeah, we'll do it.
Let me talk to some connections. We'll see what I can do. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you have a recommendation of where we should play, by all means, pass it along.
well, there's quite a rich music here, like quite a
Yeah.
rich music industry here. Like, it's a lot of people nobody knows outside of Canada, but it's like a superstar system here on PEI and in
Okay.
the Maritimes. As you probably know, there is a pretty healthy music industry in the Maritimes, period,
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah,
over the years. I mean, Mo works with Sloan,
that's
Chris
right.
Murphy from Sloan,
Yeah,
the Trans Canada Highwaymen.
yeah.
That seems like a project that'd be up your alley, actually, some of the music they did on that record.
Oh yeah, that's a great record too. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's amazing. I saw them live actually a few weeks ago at the Horseshoe, and they are touring this spring. So I don't know if they're coming to the Maritimes or not, but if you get a chance to see them, you should go see them.
Oh, I definitely will. If they come here, I'm in there for sure. Maybe you should open for them.
That would be amazing. I don't think they need an opener though. They've got such a long enough show, right? Because they do. There's four other guys in the band, so they all do four of their own big hits, and then they play songs from the album. So they got a long show. But I mean, if I was asked, yeah, definitely, we would do it.
That'd be awesome. So I'm really liking the new album. I love the last one too. I still listen to that constantly.
Hmm,
Um,
thank
but
you.
I guess some of my favorite song is A Kinder You
Oh, cool.
on
Thanks.
the new album. It's probably one of my favorites. Got like a timeless feel to it.
Yeah, I really like that one too. Yeah, actually, thanks.
And I'm hearing a lot of more piano in your songs these days, which is a nice, colorful addition to some of your music.
Yeah, well, Greg, the keyboard player, he's been actually with me since the first album. So he's always been there. But Mo really digs what he does, and so he really brings out uh, Greg's playing a lot more. He really wants to feature it.
Yeah, it's
There's a couple ballads on the record that are piano based, which are beautiful. I think yeah, his playing is amazing.
it is. It really does add a lot of color to the music, and it's nice to hear you branch out and do like a ballad or two here and there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's great stuff. Like, I mean, do the other guys contribute a lot to the music too? Like, do you co-write, or is it mostly just you're doing the writing?
Way it's worked so far, and it seems to be working, is I'll write the tune, the
Yeah,
skeleton of the tune, the melody, the lyrics,
yeah.
and I'll take it in to the band, and we'll flesh it out and see what we can do with it. And
You
then
got
Mo, I mean, Mo he's had suggestions as well when we go into the studio.
yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
You've got quite a bit of a library being built up now. Are you at a point you don't need to play covers anymore, or do you still like to whip one in once in a while?
We still like playing covers, yeah. Not a lot, because you're right. I mean, the amount of songs that we've accumulated, crazy. We're just lately rehearsing some tunes that I haven't played in a long, long time, just to see if they work with this current lineup, and they do.
Yeah,
It's really hard to fit in all this stuff, plus some covers. But covers are fun.
I remember you doing a cover of, I think it was Cruel Summer.
At the Mill Crate stage show. Yeah, yeah. That's the only time
Yeah,
I played that actually.
that was a great cover. I was like, that's awesome that you did that.
And I think we did that. We did a medley of that and a Dylan tune.
That's right too. Yeah, I forgot what Dylan song it was, but
I can't remember. Oh, what was it? Ah, I don't know. Can't remember.
great stuff. I guess my other question was going to be, if you ever do a tour, is there any dream places that you want to play? Like you've played the Cavern Club, you've played the Alma Combo. Is there?
I like to get. I mean, I really want to focus on the UK and there are some festivals over there that I would love to play.
Yeah.
Glastonbury would be fun. Um, but as far as Canada, I mean, my dream gig is really in Toronto. I would just love to play Massey Hall one day. That would be a dream come true for me.
If you play Massey Hall, I am coming back to Ontario to see that.
All right.
I promise you, I don't care how, I will be back in Ontario to see you,
All right.
when you play Massey Hall, not if,
Right.
when you play Massey Hall.
Yeah.
I don't know if you, I've been studying kind of, I don't know if you might be able to input into this, you might have a, I've been studying famous studios in Canada. I found an interesting book on Facebook about Le Studio,
Oh yeah.
the one in Quebec, and there's been some amazing pictures, and I didn't realize how many, not just Rush albums were recorded there, but like, and then I saw a documentary about Little Mountain Sound in Vancouver.
Is that
I
still
like
around?
to,
Is that still around?
no,
No.
definitely not. But I mean, it was about its heyday and all the bands that came through there, not just Canadian, but you know,
Yeah.
international stars. I'd like to do one on Metalworks.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'd like to do something on Metalworks because it's a pretty legendary studio too
Definitely.
in Canada for sure. But can you think of any other studios that might be in that status? Like
In Canada.
whether they're around anymore or not, or if they're still,
Right. I'm drawing a blank. There are some pretty big studios in Toronto in the
yeah.
seventies. Phase One Studios was a big.
Mhm.
Um, hmm. Put me on the spot, man. Put me on the spot. Um, if I think of some, I'll email them to you. But I can't think of any at the moment. Sorry.
No, I've just found it quite fascinating to study this kind of stuff because I mean it's a big part of the industry, especially in the 80s, 90s, and today, you know, where these bands recorded some of their albums and even
Mhm.
some of the producers they worked with. Like, I mean, you meet in Vancouver, like you had Bob Rock got his
Yeah.
start there and Bruce Fairbairn and went on to like international fame. I
For
don't know
sure.
many of the producers from the studio,
Yeah.
um,
I don't either. I don't either.
but the I couldn't believe the list of albums that have been recorded. I saw a list of albums on the
Yeah.
Facebook group and I was just blown away by how many people have recorded there.
Hmm.
Um, and I've actually been there.
Have you? No.
My cousins in Ottawa took me out there one time. We went to Montreal. We went further north and we actually went and found the studio.
Oh,
And
cool.
it's in the middle of nowhere, like,
Yeah.
but it really was a good place to record because it had a place to stay,
Yeah.
like
Exactly.
a residence there where you could stay and really focus on recording and get away from everything. It was
I think April Wine did a lot of their stuff there too. When they
April
were.
Wine did. The Police recorded there
Oh,
apparently.
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
I I wouldn't doubt if Moe's recorded there too.
Possibly.
I would think he might have recorded there, but I couldn't believe, like I was talking to Vince from Spirit of the West yesterday, and even he's recorded there. He recorded with Sue Medley and Doug and the Slugs,
Okay.
and which I found kind of interesting too. So
Yeah.
it's been quite a revolving door of pretty big names to record there.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's been pretty
My,
cool.
my dream would be to record at Abbey Road.
Oh, for sure. That'd be amazing. It still exists, right?
Yeah, I
Like,
was there. I visited. I did a little holiday in London in
yeah.
Ireland past summer, and yeah, visited Abbey Road and did the zebra crossing the road there.
Did you get a picture? I think you did. Did you get a
Yeah, it's
picture
actually
crossing the road?
it's up on my Facebook page. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah,
That's
of course.
that's awesome. That would be amazing. I mean, I'm sure everybody on the planet that's been there has taken a picture there.
Oh yeah, of course.
Crossing.
The day I was there, the cab the cab driver I had, he said, well, sometimes there's 50, 60 people waiting there. It ended up being a slow day. He said it was only about 30 people that day.
Only about 30 people. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And it was great. Yeah, it was right outside the studio. So yeah, that would be my dream to record there. And I'm gonna try and make it happen actually. I'm looking into it.
So before I let you go, what are your plans for the summer? Like,
For
what are
the
you up to?
song.
Do you got a bunch of gigs booked or
I'm
festivals
trying
you're
to
gonna
like
do?
I'm applying to festivals right now, so that would be fun. Yeah, so I'm hoping to get a bunch of stuff together for the summer. Yeah, nothing's nothing's been you know confirmed yet, but a lot of stuff I'm trying to get together.
Well, best of luck to you, man, and I really appreciate you joining me. It's
Oh
been
yeah, thanks, Alan. It was fun.
I've wanted to get together and chat with you about your music for a long time, and I'm
Yeah,
glad I
we've been
finally
talking
got
about
to
it for a
do it.
long time. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, thanks. So thanks again. And
Yeah,
yeah, if you think there's a place
we'll
you want
keep
us to go out and play,
we'll keep in touch, and if I'm in Ontario, I'll pop by and find you somewhere.
yeah, yeah. Thanks for the support, man. I appreciate it.
Anytime, my friend.
Okay, all the
Take care,
best.
sir.
You too.
Bye.